For those who have crossed the threshold of 60, life has likely been a tapestry woven with diligent labor, nurturing families, attending to the needs of others, and fulfilling the myriad responsibilities that life demands. As you embark on this new chapter, be it retirement, reinvention, or merely your moment, a profound transformation begins to unfold. One starts to understand that existence transcends the mere pursuit of abundance. It revolves around the art of making wiser choices. At times, embracing a better life requires the courage to release what no longer serves us, not burdening you further, but rather lightening your load. The routines, convictions, and expectations that have outlived their purpose for you. This video delves into 9 aspects you might contemplate releasing as you embrace life beyond 60. Not due to any misstep on your part, but rather because you are worthy of embracing greater joy, deeper peace, and boundless freedom. After more than a decade of engaging with individuals much like yourself, I have gathered these invaluable lessons. Individuals in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond have illuminated for me the true essence of a life well lived. Stay with me until the conclusion, for the final point may very well transform your morning routine come tomorrow. Let us commence. 1. Cease hoarding from a place of dread. Here is the initial aspect to release once you reach the age of 60. Cease your saving driven by apprehension. At first glance, this may seem peculiar. Ultimately, the practice of saving money is a tradition ingrained in many of us from a young age. Set aside for unforeseen circumstances. Prepare for the future. Reserve for potential needs. Throughout much of your existence, that perspective has proven to be beneficial. However, as one reaches a certain age, particularly after 60, the act of saving driven by fear may begin to impede progress. Allow me to elaborate. Saving money serves the noble aim of safeguarding the well-being of your future self. It serves as an instrument, a method to ready yourself for the life you aspire to lead in the future. What unfolds when the future we anticipated has arrived? What unfolds once you have accumulated sufficient savings? When your financial needs are met, yet a lingering fear holds you back from spending even a single dime. Time and time again, I have witnessed it. There was a time when I encountered a man whose retirement accounts boasted a staggering sum of over $2 million. He was free from debt, owned his home outright, and possessed ample resources to sustain him for the remainder of his days. And yet, whenever his wife proposed the idea of a vacation, the purchase of a camper, or even a simple outing for a nice dinner, he would feel a wave of tension wash over him. He would inquire, what if something were to occur? What if we require those funds in the future? And I inquired softly, what if you never put it to use? What if the future unfolds in ways you never anticipated? The question lingered in his mind. Perhaps it lingers within you as well. It is essential to prioritize the act of saving money. Yet, there comes a moment when one must place faith in the life they have crafted. One must grant oneself the freedom to revel in it, to embark on the journey, to purchase the present, to forge the memory, not without careful consideration, not without contemplation, yet devoid of remorse. When you have meticulously arranged your affairs and ensured that your fundamental needs are met, the savings you have accumulated transcend mere emergency funds. It exists for the purpose of life. Its purpose lies in fostering connection. It is for delight. Today, I wish to present to you this transformation. Rather than pondering, what if I deplete my resources? Begin to ponder. What holds value for my investment while I have the opportunity? The moment is upon you. Not in the distant future. Not in the end. It is time to cease expenditures on that which fails to ignite your happiness. After reaching the age of 60, the next thing to release is this. Cease the expenditure on items that fail to ignite your happiness. Having granted yourself the freedom to indulge, ensure that your expenditures align with your true priorities. Frequently, we find ourselves ensnared in familiar patterns. We acquire items driven by routine, driven by a sense of remorse, driven by a sense of duty. We strive to maintain a facade, to satisfy the expectations of others, or to occupy a void that we have yet to acknowledge. Yet if you pause and truly reflect how much of your expenditure genuinely brings you joy. I had a conversation with a woman in her early 70s. She recounted how she once poured thousands of dollars each year into clothes that remained unworn, gifts she felt obligated to give, and gadgets she acquired simply because they were discounted. Yet what lingered in her mind above all else? A $600 journey to bring joy to her sister on her special day. They shared laughter and tears, lingering into the night as they reminisced about cherished moments. That weekend held greater significance for her than all those shopping excursions put together. That is the distinction between expenditure and expenditure with purpose. Upon reaching the age of 60, it becomes essential for your finances to reflect your deepest values. Perhaps that is the essence of travel. Perhaps it involves contributing to the education of your grandchildren. Perhaps it's the cherished weekly dinners shared with friends, or the comfort of that new reclining chair that soothes your back. Invest your resources in that, whatever it may be. Release the burdens that weigh you down, that lack significance, or that seem hurried. Release the urge to spend driven by guilt or fear, or the need to showcase to others. There is no obligation to justify your choices in the pursuit of your own happiness. And keep in mind, joy isn't always measured by a price tag. At times, the most profound experiences are found in the most uncomplicated instances. Perched on the porch beside a cherished companion, crafting a handwritten letter, or meandering through nature, unburdened by the distractions of technology. Before you make a purchase, take a moment to reflect. Is this contributing to the life I aspire to lead? Or is it merely a cacophony? Invest your resources thoughtfully. Invest with passion. The aim is not to possess less or more. Rather, it is to find significance. 3. Cease the exchange of your precious time for mere currency. After reaching the age of 60, the third thing to release is this. Cease the exchange of your precious time for mere currency, unless it continues to imbue your life with significance. Throughout much of your existence, the relationship between time and money has been intricately intertwined. You toiled for a wage. You made your way in the world by being present, dedicating your time, fulfilling your responsibilities, even in the face of difficulty, even when recognition was absent, and that was essential. Your life was crafted in that manner. Yet at this moment, you find yourself in a new chapter. In this chapter, time emerges as your most precious currency. Reflect deeply within yourself. Do you continue to work out of passion? Or is it that you fear the pause? Does your work provide you with a sense of meaning? Or is it merely a distraction to occupy your time? I'm not suggesting that reaching the age of 60 necessitates retirement. Should you continue to discover delight in your endeavors, if they invigorate you, provide a sense of order, and foster connections, then persist in your pursuit. Yet, let it be a decision born of will, not a mere routine or trepidation. A man I once knew dedicated over 3 decades of his life to the noble profession of high school teaching. Upon reaching the age of 62, he was met with a barrage of inquiries from others, all curious about when he would finally choose to retire. His response was straightforward. When I ceased to love it. He continued to impart knowledge until the age of 67. One morning, he awoke and sensed it. The moment had arrived. He strolled away, his heart filled with tranquility, free from any sense of regret. I wish for that for you. Yet, I also perceive the contrasting perspective. Individuals who remain in positions they find unfulfilling, merely because they are uncertain of their identity beyond that role. Individuals who fear the act of slowing down, having never received the affirmation to simply exist. The undeniable reality is that while you can continually increase your wealth, the one resource you can never reclaim is time. Once today slips away, it vanishes forever, and no sum of money can reclaim it. If your work continues to bring you fulfillment, pursue it with unwavering pride. Yet, if it depletes your energy, if it hinders your pursuit of the life you desire, perhaps the moment has come to release it. For far too long, you have exchanged your precious time for mere currency. It is now the moment to exchange time for significance. Chapter 4. Embrace your desires. The fourth lesson to embrace after turning 60 is this. Cease delaying the experiences you've longed to pursue. How often have you uttered the words, "I'll embark on that journey someday. Next year, I shall embark on the journey of mastering that skill. I shall embark on that journey once the dust has settled." Yet, the stark reality remains. Someday does not exist on any calendar page. For countless individuals, that elusive someday remains forever out of reach. There was a moment when I found myself in conversation with a couple, their eyes alight with the vision of traversing the vast expanse of the country in a vintage Airstream trailer. They possessed the funds. They possessed the time, yet with each passing year, they continued to promise. Next summer. One winter, a health scare befell the husband. Not quite perilous, yet sufficient to cause a moment of hesitation. In that instant, they understood the truth. They had been longing for a permission that was destined to remain elusive. They gathered their belongings, set off on their journey, and half a year later, they shared with me that it was the finest choice they had ever made. Not due to the perfection of each day, but because they ultimately achieved it. The strength lies in seizing the moment and acting without delay. May I inquire about something you have been delaying? Ah, a journey awaits. What about a pastime? A rendezvous with a long-lost companion? A correspondence you've been intending to compose? Why not seize the moment? There is no necessity to postpone the joys of life until retirement arrives. Perfection is not a prerequisite for fulfillment. You don't require anyone else's approval to deem it acceptable. For there exists a truth that often eludes the grasp of many, only to be recognized when the moment has passed. Employment can serve as a pretext. Rituals may serve as a convenient justification. Even the act of planning can serve as a mere pretext. Amidst the stillness of anticipation, a shadow of fear frequently lurks. Apprehension towards transformation, anxiety about embarking on uncharted territory, apprehension about ultimately placing yourself at the forefront. What if, this year, you released the habit of waiting? What if you allowed yourself to begin living in the present moment, not in half a decade, not when the moment is appropriate? Yet, at this moment, you are not past your prime. The hour is not yet lost. You have the freedom to create memories that shimmer with enchantment. Regardless of your age, the universe remains brimming with marvels. All it takes is a simple affirmation. 5. Cease the disregard for your well-being. The fifth aspect to release after reaching the age of 60 is this. Cease the disregard for your well-being at this moment. It is with a heart full of affection that I wish to express this. Given my awareness of the delicacy surrounding this subject, yet, it is a conversation we must engage in. Many individuals contemplate retirement by considering the number of years that may remain ahead of them. 15 years, 2.5 decades, perhaps even more. Yet, the more profound inquiry lies here. How many vibrant years remain for you? For without your health, true, enduring health, no amount of wealth in your bank account holds any significance. No matter the number of journeys you've envisioned or the charm of your retirement abode, it holds little significance. Without the energy or capacity to savor it, everything begins to fade into the background. May I pose a question to you? Would you prefer to possess $20 million while enduring sickness, fatigue, and daily pain? Or would you prefer to possess $1 million, yet experience a sense of vibrancy, strength, and a fullness of life? When reflecting on the matter, the majority would likely opt for the latter. Yet, curiously, a great number of us exist as if we are in pursuit of the initial. Here lies the promising news. Transforming your life entirely isn't necessary to experience improvement in how you feel. There is no requirement for you to transform into a marathon runner. Transition to a rigid dietary regimen without delay. Begin with the basics. Begin by increasing your daily walks, even if just a bit more each day. Opting for water over soda. Consider incorporating morning stretches into your routine or enrolling in a nearby fitness class tailored for your age group. Even gentle strength training, when guided appropriately, can significantly enhance your balance, vitality, and sense of autonomy. This journey transcends the mere pursuit of weight loss or the relentless chase for youth. It revolves around preserving your freedom, enjoying playful moments with your grandchildren, embarking on journeys unburdened by discomfort, and greeting each day with vitality rather than weariness. Your body serves as the vessel for the life you desire. Just as with any vehicle, it requires consistent attention, it demands upkeep, it thrives on affection. Please, prioritize your well-being. It's time to schedule that doctor's appointment you've been putting off. Embark on that initial stroll around the block. Craft a nourishing dish at least once this week. Only one. Health is not defined by perfection. The essence lies in momentum. The optimal moment to embark on this journey is right at this instant. 6. Cease your concerns regarding the opinions of others. At the age of 60, the sixth aspect to release is this. Cease the concern for others' opinions. Let us speak candidly. Throughout much of our existence, we have been molded by the aspirations and demands of those around us. We strive to embody the ideal parent, the devoted employee, the steadfast friend. We adhere to the guidelines. We fulfill the anticipated duties. Yet, there comes a moment when one must ponder, for whom am I truly living now? There was a time when I worked with a client, a woman in her 60s whose passion for art was truly remarkable. Throughout her life, she had nurtured a dream of enrolling in a painting class. Yet she paused. She inquired, "What if I'm not good? What if others perceive it as foolish given my age?" Do you recall what I shared with her? What of it then? What of it then? She enrolled in the class. It transformed the entire landscape, not due to her rise as a renowned artist, but because she ultimately allowed herself the freedom to pursue something for her own sake. No regrets, no explanations needed. There is a profound truth I wish for you to hold close to your heart. As the years pass, you find yourself gaining the liberty to disregard the clamor that surrounds you. Are you ready to embrace vibrant hues? Proceed with it. Are you considering embarking on a journey by yourself? Proceed with it. Are you looking to decline family gatherings that leave you feeling drained? Indeed, you are correct. This is not a matter of rudeness or self-absorption. This is a reflection on the essence of living true to oneself. Thus, you may gaze forward without the weight of remorse. A book authored by a hospice nurse, Bronnie Ware, exists. Within its pages, she reveals the most common regrets expressed by individuals as they reflect on their lives at the end of their journey. Are you aware of what the foremost regret was? I long for the bravery to embrace a life that was truly my own, rather than one shaped by the expectations of others. Allow that to resonate within you. When you conform to the expectations of others for an extended period, you gradually fade away from your own existence. Today, let go of the tension. Release the desire to seek approval. Express your thoughts clearly. Pursue your passions. Embrace the opportunity to reveal your true self in all its authenticity and beauty. Just as you are, there exists but a singular version of you. It is never too late to embrace your own existence. 7. Cease indulging in the despair and negativity. After reaching the age of 60, the seventh thing to release is this: cease indulging in the shadows of despair. At the very least, not on a daily basis. This may come as a surprise to you. Allow me to clarify. I'm not suggesting that you should ignore the reality around you. Remaining knowledgeable holds significant value. To truly embody the essence of a considerate citizen, one must cultivate an awareness of the world that surrounds them. Yet, a distinction exists between remaining aware and becoming emotionally engulfed. Devoting countless hours each day to the news, regardless of the source, can lead one to the unsettling impression that the world is unraveling before our eyes. The relentless weight of stress, anxiety, and fear accumulates over time. It takes a toll on your body. It shrouds your thoughts. It robs you of your tranquility. I frequently pose this question to others. Have you ever encountered an individual who proclaimed, after spending 3 hours each night immersed in cable news, "I feel remarkably uplifted about life"? I haven't either. However, I have encountered numerous individuals, many of them, who shared that when they distanced themselves from the relentless news cycle, their mental well-being flourished, their spirits brightened, and they found themselves more optimistic, more engaged, and more tranquil. It becomes evident that much of the news presented to you is not crafted with the intention of truly informing you. Its purpose is to captivate your focus. Fear serves as a formidable lure. Wow, that's why you're on yes, and to get out by water. The inquiry arises, is that truly where you wish to direct your focus? Upon reaching the age of 60, one begins to understand that attention stands as one of the most precious resources one possesses. You have the power to decide its destination. You have the power to decide its destination. One may choose to concentrate on what is flawed. Alternatively, you might choose to concentrate on what remains exquisite. Amidst the chaos, kindness still weaves its gentle threads through the fabric of our existence. Amidst the chaos, there remain individuals dedicated to acts of kindness and goodness. Music continues to fill the air. Laughter echoes in the hearts. Knowledge expands, growth flourishes, and love endures. Remain aware indeed, but not at the expense of your tranquility. Restrict the quantity you consume. Switch off the television when the moment calls for it. Select narratives that inspire and elevate the spirit. Seek out sources that honor your intellect rather than merely appealing to your anxieties. Consider this. Has viewing this inspired me to take action? Has it enhanced my existence? Or is it merely instilling a sense of helplessness within me? After all the years you have experienced, you are worthy of more than merely existing in fear. Peace is what you truly deserve. Joy is your rightful companion. You ought to invest your energy in matters within your grasp. 8. Cease overlooking your financial strategy. At the age of 60, the 8th thing to release is this. Cease to overlook your financial strategy, yet it's important to refrain from fixating on it. This is a fragile equilibrium. On one hand, there are those who entirely steer clear of their financial matters. People often express sentiments such as, "It's simply too overwhelming. I shall attend to it at a later time." Alternatively, I find myself reluctant to even cast my gaze upon it. Yet, the reality remains. Neglecting your financial plan will not make the issue disappear. It fosters growth in the shadows. As one reaches the age of 60, it becomes increasingly vital to grasp the intricacies of one's financial landscape. What is the monthly income you require? What occurs if your health undergoes a transformation? Are you safeguarded against the unforeseen? Expertise is not a prerequisite. However, a plan is essential, a source of tranquility for your thoughts. Now, allow me to address the opposing viewpoint. Individuals who are solely preoccupied with their monetary concerns. You're familiar with that kind. Perhaps you find yourself among their ranks. They scrutinize each dollar meticulously. They inquire, if I take a vacation, will that influence my tax efficiency? They postpone happiness for the sake of a spreadsheet. The issue at hand is this. Your efforts in saving and investing were not merely for the sake of observing figures on a display. You accomplished it to survive. Indeed, consult with your advisor. Review your accounts. Ensure that the fundamentals are addressed. Yet, release it. Allow your finances to fulfill their intended purpose. Empower your existence. Do not exert control over it. A robust financial plan instills the assurance needed to embrace opportunities with a resounding yes. It is not fear that holds you captive. There was a moment when I shared this with a client. It transformed his whole outlook. A truly exceptional retirement plan transcends the mere accumulation of a substantial account balance. It is a life richly experienced. Cease evading your financial responsibilities due to apprehension. Cease the relentless fixation on your finances, driven by unease. Begin to wield your finances as a means to craft the life you desire. Each choice, filled with joy and purpose, unfolds in its own time. 9. Cease existing as if time is an endless gift. The 9th and final aspect to release after reaching the age of 60 is this. Cease to exist as though time is an endless gift. I mention this not to instill fear in you, yet to beckon you towards a life lived with greater depth. By the time we arrive at our 60s, many of us have experienced the profound impact of loss. Perhaps you have experienced the loss of a parent, a sibling, or a friend. Perhaps a cherished soul you held close has departed from this world. In those hushed, reverent instances of sorrow, we are called to remember what frequently slips from our minds. Life is finite. This is a concept familiar to us all in principle. Yet, we continue to delay our actions. We bide our time for the perfect moment to arrive. We assure ourselves that we will eventually attend to it. Yet, the reality remains that one can never truly ascertain the amount of time that remains. Thus, today holds an extraordinary value. Occasionally, I pose a straightforward yet impactful question to my clients. Imagine for a moment that you possess the undeniable knowledge that this year would be your final chapter. How would you alter your course? What choices would you embrace or forsake? Whom would you summon? How would you respond? What would you cease to endure? What actions would you ultimately take? The majority of individuals can respond to that inquiry with remarkable speed. Yet they return to their familiar patterns, resuming the life they've always known. What, I wonder, is holding you back from taking those steps right now? There is no necessity to await a diagnosis or a crisis to awaken from slumber. Today, you have the opportunity to rise with a profound understanding of the transient and exquisite nature of existence. It is possible to extend forgiveness to another. Embark on the journey of starting that journal. Seize the opportunity to book the trip, enroll in the class, cultivate the garden, or express your love before the moment fades into memory. Indeed, accomplishing everything in a single day is an unrealistic expectation. Yet, the journey can commence, for the essence lies not in succumbing to the dread of mortality. Ultimately, the essence lies in honoring the sanctity of existence. To pay tribute to this singular, untamed, and invaluable existence that you continue to possess, you find yourself in this moment. You are inhaling and exhaling. Today is yours. That alone is reason enough to cease the waiting and begin to live fully. Thus, we arrive at the conclusion. 9 burdens to release after reaching the age of 60. Not due to any misstep on your part, but rather because you have rightfully attained the freedom to embrace a lighter existence. With greater freedom, with greater intention. Releasing something is not synonymous with surrendering. It revolves around creating room, a realm for tranquility, for happiness, for mindfulness, room for what truly counts at this moment. Let us pause to reflect on the topics we have explored today. Release the urge to save driven by fear. Release the urge to save driven by fear. Release the habit of spending devoid of happiness. Release the notion of exchanging your precious time for mere money, for your time holds greater value. Release the habit of delaying the moments that ignite your spirit. Release the habit of overlooking your health, your most valuable treasure. Release the burden of concern for others' opinions. Release the incessant clamor of pessimism. Release your grip on financial anxiety. However, it is essential to remain attentive to your plan. Above all, release the delusion that time is infinite. The reality is you possess it at this very moment, and that is sufficient to start. Before we conclude, I would like to pose a personal question to you. What are you prepared to release beginning today? Consider it carefully. If you feel at ease, please share your response in the comments section. One can never truly anticipate the ripple effect of heartfelt words. They may ignite inspiration in others in ways we cannot foresee. If this message resonated with you, reminding you of your inherent worth, your wisdom, or the possibilities that lie ahead, consider sharing it with someone dear to you. A companion, a brother or sister, a partner, perhaps another soul who could benefit from this reminder as well. At Elders Insight, we hold the conviction that aging is not synonymous with deceleration. It is about embracing presence with unprecedented depth. I appreciate your presence here. I appreciate your time, your kindness, and the trust you've placed in me. Above all, I extend my gratitude for reminding the world that it is never too late to embrace a life rich with purpose, connection, and joy. Until we meet again in the next video.